what kind of validation did you do? Did you go out and try to see if there were already products on the market that could solve this problem? Did you kind of go out and, have customer interviews? Like, what did you do to get to the point where you felt confident enough to say, we're going to go and spend a year and a half building this product?
Yeah, we realized that we're not, in retrospect, we're probably not the brightest people who did this because we spent the first 6 months with one customer and we built the wrong product. We did no market research whatsoever. So whoever's starting, please do like comprehensive market research. There was no such product as a billing product, but we realized very quickly that the need, even if it's a product of let's say a billing, the need of a transport company of his size is very different than a larger one or a smaller one. By us relying on him only for 6 months, we built the absolute wrong customized product. And that was just not cost effective, burned through a ton of money. I, initially invested a decent chunk of capital into it, about $80,000 the first 6 months, just blew through it because we were hiring employees. We were trying to figure out how to build this thing. It was very complex. You're signing deals with clearinghouses and all the rest. So didn't do enough research.
And that was your own money, right?
Yeah, own money. And the next 12 months, we had to invest more of our own money to get it to a point where it made sense. So the next 12 months, I asked him, hey, are there other folks in the industry that I could sit with and learn from? And then spoke to about a dozen or so. And then we started building a more standard product, which was the product that we ended up scaling. So first 6 months, we were not smart about it at all.
Okay, great. So 18 months, you've built the product. How did you go and start finding customers?
So initially, the first 18 months, it was just word of mouth. I was going from whoever knew any transport company. I found myself in the most rural pockets in America because somebody had a friend in Oklahoma that did it. And I'd literally get on a plane, go to Oklahoma. Turns out this person has 3 vehicles and you can make $99 a month. So my plane ticket and the hotel cost more than I could ever, the lifetime value of that customer. But you're just trying to get customers.
Okay, wait, but why weren't you calling these people? Why are you jumping on a plane? Like, what was the rationale?
Because you're eager. Like for me, it was, I didn't care. I wanted to show market validation, right? So the cost of showing market validation and raising capital, it was justified, right? So you could go there, meet people, understand it. And I to this day, that's the one thing that I no matter how much it cost, I would do it over and over again. You've got to just sell your idea and yourself to the industry. They've got to believe in you. They will not change if you call, just via phone. We're dealing with a subsect of the healthcare marketplace that nobody really knows of. These are mom and pop shops who don't adopt technology. And so you've really got to sell vision to them. And you can't sell, and this was prior to Zoom being as great as it is today, or some of these online virtual platforms, because this is 2017 and everybody met in person. So yeah, I met everybody in person. I go to Buffalo, rural parts of Buffalo. Everywhere I'd go, I'd be like, why does anybody live here? And what am I doing here? Why am I building this? So yeah, all across 18 months, a lot of self-reflection.
And how easy or hard was it to sell the product at the time? You're solving a problem that clearly is solving a pain for these businesses, but you're probably also dealing with potential customers who are very price sensitive.
Yeah, they are price sensitive, but also you're dealing with folks who, when you don't understand the value of tech, doesn't matter. It's just a different generation of folks you're selling into. And these are, of all things, transport companies, hard-headed, this is how I do it, I've always done it, I'm never going to change type of mindset. I mean, the stories I have is crazy. Like I'd be selling into, there are parts of New York, it's all like mafia-owned transport companies. They're not here to service. Patients are here to wash money. So you're dealing with, it's just like an absurd, weird thing that you started building for. But the vision made so much sense that anybody that was on Medicaid should not wait 72 hours to get it right. I grew up on Medicaid. We didn't have much. And then you just didn't have a lot of resources. And to wait for 72 hours to get a ride just didn't make sense. And I think those are the things that kept me going, and trying to make sense of a market that just didn't make sense. It was just so corrupt in every way you could think of. But yeah, it was just you had to keep going and get in front of these people and go door to door and sell into them the vision and the product, and eventually they bought in. They were less than price sensitive. It's an ideology. For them, I'd go and be like, hey, want to buy this product? They'd be like, no, why would I do that? My son is doing it for free. I'm like, your son's not doing it for free. You're getting paid every 60 days. I'm a finance major, so if every day you don't have $1, there's interest associated with it, and it's expensive. So if you get $1 35 days in advance, that's $35 worth of interest you're saving. So I think lack of understanding of the cost of capital, rudimentary understanding of capital, is a massive challenge in any market, especially a market that doesn't get the value that, hey, you're getting paid every 21 days now. You can pay these drivers, retain them, improve network, get more rides. Very, very simple approach to business is what we were going. And it's hard. It's hard to sell into folks who think they know how the whole system works, when in reality, that's not the case.
So you focused on that product for, I think, about 5 years or so, which is how long it took you to hit the first million in ARR. And when was that?
Okay, so that was last year, but some more context around that. So we sell this product. We talked about it earlier. So it's like 18 months. You finally get some initial customers, and then you have some outbound sales and all that stuff. Q1 2020, we're ready to scale this thing. Get a couple of salespeople. Let's scale this. Bam. March hits, COVID, world shuts down, nobody's doing rides. I'd call them. I'd call these transport companies, and they would curse me out. They'd say, what are you talking about? I don't have any rides. Why would I use a billing? What am I going to bill? And I'm like, man, I think this company is no more. So we had two choices there. Either shut the company down, or say, you know what? We're going to build a bigger company with a bigger vision, and we're going to go after the entire market, not just payments, but both scheduling and payments. And this is the best time to strike, because everybody was being very, very conservative in their approach. The whole market was super conservative. I talked to players in the marketplace. The approach to sales was conservative. And I was like, let's use the next 2 years, as the market will take a couple of years to bounce back, to build the most robust technology there can be. Completely stopped sales at the 35 customer mark, and went back, and we built a tech team of like 20 people, raised capital on a larger vision, and built out this robust product. And as COVID subsided, numbers just ballooned up. So last year was our first $1 million year. And that's because it was the first real normalized year of rides. So we grew from, prior to that, we had 44 customers at the end of 21. We had 250 customers by the end of last year. So the market bounced back. We doubled down on sales. We did not have a sales team at all. I was selling for the first 4 years. Doubled down on sales team. Grew that to like 12 sales folks, all outbound sales to these mom and pop shops, and calling and showing up in front of their offices. And then we achieved that $1 million mark last year.
When you talked about the impact of COVID, what kind of impact did that have? Like you mentioned, like it was hard to sell the product, like nobody wanted to buy, but you lost a lot of customers as well, right?
Yeah, so you because naturally there's a churn rate, and then that was exacerbated by the fact that the transport companies just didn't have rides, and they would naturally go out of business. So we saw a bounce back last year, hence the growth in the number of transport companies as customers. But simultaneously, we were fulfilling the vision we came about, started building towards in 2020 during COVID. We made that hard pivot and started building out the scheduling platform that was completed towards the end of last year. Before COVID, had one product, small market segment, $150 million TAM that we were going after. Post-COVID, larger vision, it became an infrastructure play, end-to-end product, scheduling, and now we have a $3 billion market to go after.